What is up, YouTube? JoeWo here, and as we know, Warzone Season 3 got off to an interesting start, so let's talk about it. To start off with, there is actually some pros for things outside of Warzone. As you guys know, mostly we play Warzone here, but, you know, we may dabble into a couple other things in the game, and DMZ actually got a massive overhaul, and again, I'm not the biggest fan of DMZ personally, but I have won 2 of the tournaments that were on DMZ, which was actually a lot of fun, and I know that I watch a couple DMZ creators like my boy Weston, and it seems like he's having a ton of fun, which is I'm glad for the DMZ community, and it seems like that they got a lot of new content, which I feel like was much needed. And then obviously multiplayer with, you know, new guns, things like that, new modes, a couple new maps, and gunfight back. Glad that, you know, COD is showing some love to multiplayer. Now I kind of laugh because I feel like last year with Warzone and kind of at its peak with Warzone 1, I feel like the multiplayer fan base was kind of like, dang, like they're showing way too much love to Warzone, like where's the multiplayer content? And now I feel like it's flipped a little bit to be like, they're showing way too much love to DMZ, where's the Warzone content at? But either way, Call of Duty as a whole, let's chat. To start off with, I guess, the good, the bad, and the ugly, let's start off with the good. One-shot snipers are in Warzone now, which, as we've known for a long time, that's coming for Season 3, and I think that that has kind of helped out a lot of people play the game again, because I know a lot of people love to snipe. Now, as you guys know, me personally, I'm not the biggest fan of sniping ever, and I usually am the one getting headshot sniped. Real quick, too, in the background is actually me kind of doing just a normal game, probably the coolest random duo and best random duo I've ever found, and we actually had a pretty good game. So that is the gameplay in the background, and I'm just going to be talking over it. So hope you guys enjoy this style of video. But with Season 3 snipers obviously coming out, I think that they definitely have balanced those well, where it's not going to be like a instantly one-shot knock to the headshot snipe with the explosive rounds. Now, the explosive rounds, I think it's kind of an interesting touch. I wish they would have balanced it the other way around, where you don't have to have a certain attachment to have a one-shot snipe, because I feel like that is kind of inconsistent with obviously sniper's bullet velocity and where you're aiming. If you guys have seen me try to snipe so far on Twitch or just anywhere else, I'm like the worst sniper ever, and I feel like a lot of people that are really good snipers having some problem sniping because the bullet velocity is just kind of weird at certain distances, and I wish they would have done it the other way, where you don't have to have a certain attachment. It's just the heavy snipers that one-shot, and that could mean that they have a lot of flinch, a lot of sway, and just take actual skill to snipe, but I think it's pretty balanced right now overall. So a great plus also for the big map is also redeploy balloons, which we currently have in Resurgence, which is great, but the redeploy balloons I think are actually a massive W for the big map. The only thing I wish is that they were a little bit taller, to be honest, because sometimes there's actually buildings that are taller than the redeploy balloons, so it would be better off just to go up the building and scale the building and jump off than take a balloon. But either way, I think this helps rotations a lot in the game, because as I've spoken on before, the only vehicle that's really you can use in the game is the Hummer EV, or maybe like the tank armored vehicle. But like the sedan, the Jeep, or the Jeep Wrangler and the Jeep Wrangler Unlimited with the no doors, those vehicles are kind of bad to use because obviously the turning radius, they're slow, they don't take off well, and I feel like the only vehicle to use that's good is the Hummer EV, which is sponsored in Call of Duty. Coincidence? Maybe. Now, the redeploy balloons really do help out rotations and things like that. And then obviously in the future, I have a feeling that we'll probably get portable redeployed drones where we can actually throw those down and just take them. It is kind of weird though how easily they are to be shot down, but I think just any way to rotate around the map quicker is obviously a good thing. Some more pluses, obviously, is there's more buy stations on the map, and I wish the one thing that they changed was going to be having unlimited UAVs, but hopefully that comes in future updates as they balance out more stuff. Now, I think that hopefully that will be in ranked play, where we actually get to buy unlimited UAVs, because if you're doing contracts, getting money, chasing players and kills, I feel like you should be rewarded to buy more UAVs because you're getting your funds up in the game. Hopefully for ranked play, it's kind of a whole separate rule set. I'm kind of trying to just push for that the most, because ranked play, again, I feel like should be the biggest skill gapped mode compared to normal regular BR or Resurgence, but we can kind of talk about that soon. But overall, I think more buy stations is definitely a plus, because there was definitely times that you would be fighting towards those end circles and know that there was no more buys for another 2 zones, and if you died and were full killed, there was no way to res your teammates. And I think that they added 11 buy stations and moved around some of them, and I think that's a great thing for the game, because having more buy stations means more potential UAVs on the map, which you could buy, but also resing teammates, buying plates, armor, all that jazz. And also, I love how they have certain things in the buys that are kind of locked. Like, obviously, they have an armor box, muni box, plates. I wish there was, more self-reses and things like that, but there is gas mask and other things on the more buy stations, which is definitely a plus. The other great thing I think that they added into the game is the tempered vest. And like I said before, the tempered vest is basically tempered from Warzone 1, but it's not going to be a perk. It's just going to be a vest or satchel that you grab. And I love that they changed it the other way from, landing in and having to find a satchel to put on 3 plates. But they just reverted it to be now currently how if you find a satchel, you actually will just have tempered on, which means that you will have to put in 2 plates to be fully plated rather than 3. And that can change up a lot of how gunfights feel because you have 33% more percentage math of plates on, and then also they sped up the animation of plating. So that means obviously as you're running and plating, you don't have to put in another plate. And if you only have time to put in 1 before you reach out an enemy, you'll have technically more plates on during the gunfight and can speed up and just kind of change how fights feel. I wish that they would up the spawn rate for the tempered vest because I feel like I don't find them that often. But overall, I think that's something that they could change pretty quickly because I think that could definitely change and kind of add a new dynamic of how the game feels. So obviously, there's a lot more good in the game, but it seems like it's just minuscule compared to the other things that I talked about. So again, as we go on with Season 3 and ranked play and all that later, I think that hopefully we can have more things to kind of boast and say that's good about the game and changes. But now let's get into the bad. Now, before I get into the bad, obviously, as you guys saw from my last video and all that jazz, a lot of people say, just deal with the game, it's great, and all that stuff. But as someone who is just very, very passionate about the game, and I truly do love Warzone like a lot of people, I'm just always so vocal on, I think, of ways that could be better for the game. Now, I know that gets kind of misconstrued to being like, you just want to have a skill gap and where all the bots get body slammed. Like, you just want it to be for good players. And I'm like, no, like, I'm still trying to advocate for, servers, loadouts, things like that, where it can just improve the experience for everybody in the game. And I think that gets kind of misconstrued when it's like, Joe only wants what's for good players. And I'm like, no, I'm just passionate about the game. I'm just passionate. And that gets changed from like, you're just complaining to just me trying to give them feedback about how great the game is. Because I know all of us love the game. There's a lot of people that still love Warzone. I still love Warzone most of the time. And with ranked play and tournaments and stuff coming out, man, I'm just really trying to have a really good polished game that all of us love. So with that being said, let's get into the bad. To start off with, I think number 1 is server instability. And we've had that with every single season. Now, as seasons go on, I feel like that should be something that's definitely ironed out. But every season, it seems like servers get worse and worse and worse. And it's kind of funny that in the game right now, I've seen comments like, yo, Joe, you're on 1 ping. Like, this is crazy. Or like 2 ping. In the latency at the top left, which you can turn on, it's showing that you're on 1 or 2 ping for a lot of people, if not everybody. And I think that that's kind of a weird coincidence that with how bad their servers are, that it's just saying that they're on 1 ping, when clearly in the game, you can feel that you're not on 1 ping or 2. And I think with ranked play and normal servers coming out, it seems like it's worse in Resurgence Island than normal big map. It seems like the servers are just getting terrible. I mean, there's been so many games where I'm on a good game and then it would just be like rubber bandy and then it would just lose connection to host. Or the whole server would just feel like you're in slow motion. And not like it feels bad, like it's awful, but it feels like you're moving at like a 10% or 20% less speed for everything. As you're checking chests, as guns come out of chests and all that kind of stuff, it feels like everything is just a little bit slower, and that's the server, and you're not really on 1 ping. So that's one of the things I definitely hope that they iron out for ranked play, because I would love to have dedicated servers and things like that. And then obviously for the World Series of Warzone, I feel like dedicated servers are a must if they're going to be doing a $1.2 million qualifier that anybody can play in, that you guys can also play in. Server stability is going to be one of the biggest things since everybody's playing from their house. The other thing that they changed that I'm not a big fan of personally is the strongholds. So as you guys know, or if you don't know, this is going to be, a new tip for you guys. If you go to a stronghold, you could actually fight the AI bots there and get a loadout. And with that loadout, there was usually 2 white chests there, which have tons of money, UAVs, self-reses, and all the good stuff that come in, obviously, the white chest. Now, what they did is they changed that to now be a capture the flag type of thing, where you have to actually stand on the loadout and fight the bots for, I believe it's like 2 minutes. Now, in my opinion, I think that's an absolutely awful change, and I think this slows down good players. I kind of did a poll and just asked more of my casual fan base of if they do strongholds or black sites, and most of them said no. If not, I don't even know what is the point of a stronghold. And I was actually playing some games off stream and I was playing with a friend that really doesn't play the games that often, but I've been promising him for a while, like, yo, let's play some games someday. And he said that he doesn't even know what a stronghold is or the purpose of it. And he said he plays pretty often. Then obviously a black site, if they don't do strongholds, they're not going to know what a black site is. With the stronghold, they changed it where there's now a timer on the stronghold that you have to capture the stronghold. And then obviously there's only one white chest in strongholds now instead of two. And I feel like the reason that they did that is to just slow down good players. It seemed like more of the skilled players were going to strongholds and then obviously grabbing the black site key and doing black sites. But instead of doing it in, 10 seconds now, it takes 2 minutes. And then instead of having two chests, which could have UAVs, self-reses, kill streaks, and money to kind of up the pace of the game, there's only one. And I feel like that's a massive, massive L. Again, just slowing down the game, slowing down those players that are trying to have more aggressive kills, get loadouts quicker, and just speed up the pace of the game. I don't like that change. Also, guys, whoever has made it this far in the video, let me know down below, guys, obviously your complete opinion on the game. It could be, yo, Joe, you're an idiot. Yo, Joe, I agree. Anything that you guys think should be changed. Give me the good, give me the bad, give me the Joe, I think you're an idiot for this point, because I really do love to see what you guys are thinking. Obviously, I'm in sometimes just a bubble of my gaming experience of being like a super sweat, super tryhard player that I don't get to see everybody else's perspective. So let me know down below what you guys think of my points, and obviously points that you guys could make, and they could be featured in a future video. The other problem with multiplayer ranked right now is there's a current shadow ban issue. Now in ranked, if you go into a ranked game and mass report somebody, the same for Warzone, they can actually get kicked out of the game. And they can also be voice comm banned, which is obviously very, very important if you play voice comms with proximity chat and things like that. And I think when ranked play comes out for Warzone, that's going to be very, very important to not have a shadow ban issue or a kicking of player issue if you just mass report somebody. And I love that obviously with the new anti-cheat update, they are just obviously trying to make the anti-cheat even better. And with ranked play, that's much, much needed because there's a lot of cheaters currently in Modern Warfare 2 ranked play for multiplayer. But when Warzone drops, it's going to be so needed for Warzone ranked. And I think with every single anti-cheat, there's no perfect one. Obviously, there's games that have really good ones like Valorant, Fortnite, etc. And Warzone, I feel like, has a good one now compared to Verdansk. If you guys remember the OG days of Verdansk, it felt like almost every game or every other game there was a cheater. And I feel like that kind of held back Verdansk a lot, and kind of Warzone 1 a lot was the issue of cheating and everything like that. And I know that, like I said, there's no perfect anti-cheat. There will never be a perfect one because there's always people trying to cheat and get away with certain things, right? I think that definitely another update before the ranked play comes out, and even now, would be very, very key. So people aren't getting shadow banned for being reported so many times, and then getting voice comm banned for just being reported. I think that should be definitely changed, and an update is needed. And I don't know how to do coding or anything like that. So I say that, take that with kind of a grain of salt as someone who doesn't code or know anything about coding. So I think that definitely is needed though. Now let's get into the ugly. Me. But no, I think overall, again, the game is very, very good. You guys know that I love Warzone, that I always have loved Warzone, and the past update was just very, very overpromising. And I think that if they, in my opinion, how Call of Duty could kind of change the narrative of what they're doing is with future seasons, with these big changes that they're promising people, I would love to see them go over the top, above and beyond, right? Instead of saying, hey, we're changing up TTK, we're changing up movement speed, we're changing up outplayability, the pace, so forth and so on. I would rather have them go above and beyond and actually change TTK where it's insanely drastic. And let's say that they, took it too far, they can then dial it back. I would rather have them go with a 50% change than a 1% change, because technically that 1% increase is still an increase. And they're not lying to say that we increased movement speed if it's only by 1% or 50%. And I feel like that I would love to see them go above and beyond and farther than what they intentionally planned for, and then bring it back from there instead of going 1%, and then just keep trying it from there. I think overall, if they do something like that, it would help out a lot of people just to see the structure and kind of how the devs think, and bring back kind of the dev community aspect where they're being transparent. So I would rather have them have a clear structure of what they're changing instead of being like, we're increasing it, but not saying how much. I would rather have them go farther and do a 50% change than a 1% change and have just the pace of the game and everything feel different and bring it back from there. So yeah, guys, like I said, let me know down below again what you guys think of the new season and things like that. And the other thing I'm very, very excited about is obviously with ranked coming out, and hopefully a little bit of a bigger skill gap than what we got, I'm going to be dropping a ton of content for you guys, tips and tricks. And also I have a ton of IRL videos planned to go on the main channel. So if you guys let me, think of anything, any content ideas, let me know down below. I love you guys as always. Thank you for the support as always. Have a great week. I'll see you guys soon. Peace. Dude, you are freaking insane, bro. Dude, you are actually insane.
You want to run it back after?
We may have to, bro. We may have to. Because trust me, bro, dude, I've had somebody random to play so slow. I'm like, wait, this guy's kind of full sending right now. I love this.
It's awesome. No solos, right? So,
yeah.
Vehicle.
Yeah. Got him almost broken in that.
Broken.
Shots.
Sniper in the back too.
Okay. We can probably chase this car.
Let's do it.
Pretty sure they stopped. Yeah. They're up top left
Yeah,
here.
I'm gonna airstrike him early. You wanna push
Huge. Yep.
Jump off.
Love it.
Got in the back too here, Joe. I got right here.
I got them here.
And in front.
Is this for you? Right here. Got a full kill.
Yeah, but he's trying to fool me here.
The guy like on the bottom left over here too.
Yeah. I seen him. He's running.
Yeah, he just dove and he's in the water over here somewhere. Can't see this guy. Oh, he's right here. One shot in the water. Dude, shooting people is so hard. They're swimming.
Oh, you're right.
He's right here. He's like literally one shot in there. Right here now. Nice. Good stuff. Dude, it's so hard to shoot somebody if they're swimming. I would love to find us some selfs and stuff too.
Dude, we have fire sale. We should get those 2 UAVs.
Oh, yeah, I'm down for that. Yep. Dude, nah, seriously though, you're like, I'm not even just saying this. You're literally like the best random teammate I've ever had. You're actually insane, bro. You're freaking insane, my guy.
We usually run pretty cracked players, and no, it's pretty cool to run into you guys because like, we just keep the pace going, right?
Yes, sir. Hopefully this has some self sports and stuff.
I got it. Precision
cool.
here.
I'll grab cool. Here, I'm gonna low key pop this just in case. Oh, that behind us. Yeah, he just rest. In the storm, I'm assuming just tanking it. Oh, bitch. His boy's actually flying in like on us. Look at him. One shot. Nice. Tough.
We got people on the outer wall on the bottom right here.
Yeah, I see them. We can hold them actually. Yeah, they could be crossing. Yeah, I know. Same.
We lost a couple because of the heavy chopper, and they're just staying at the end game. It's toxic. Got a guy right here.
Yep. That's right. I see two. I frad one. Put him down.
On the truck.
Okay.
We got no self though.
You're good. Yeah, he fragged me too. Wow. Good shots. Wow, that's actually insane.